being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts. Hello,
Hey, Nancy Mace not playing. She's standing on her business today. So as you guys know, I don't know what's going on in Delaware. The Delaware decided to make history by putting in the first trans person as their Congress member. I believe his name is, he calls himself Sarah McBride. That's what he calls himself. So I'll just, out of respect for him, right? Because in this day and age, we respect people's delusion. We'll call him Sarah. So Sarah here decided, he got elected. And now Nancy Mace, as you saw from the intro, she explains she's traumatized. She faced sexual assault. So she's like, yo, this is not okay. I'm looking out for women here. And she's being currently demonized by the mainstream media. They're calling her, what? I forget what they're calling her. Homophobic, not transphobic. Transphobic. They're calling her all kinds of stuff. And they're trying to make this argument that they're being distracted by culture war stuff, right? Effing disgusting. Dems reps trash for attacking Mace's bill to keep men out of women's bathrooms. Why should a member of Congress or female Hill staffers have to sacrifice this security so that a man pretending to be a woman can feel better? And this is funny how the Democrats, they don't want, they already lost the election, right? And the fact that Donald Trump, this was Donald Trump's most biggest ad, money-wise, and the amount of attention that it got, this issue is not good for Democrats. And the fact that Nancy Mace is doing this is not a very convenient time, let's say that, for the Democratic Party. So Dean Phillips got a viral earful after he tried to shame Nancy Mace for putting forth a bill that would prevent men from using the women's bathroom. Like, the definition of man is enough to tell you what it is. An adult human male. That's what Sarah McBride is. So I don't understand why we're using biology. Like the fact that we're doing this to our language, right? And this is how the left always wins. They always try to they always normalize. They do this process of normalization. They try to make their delusion seem normal, and we just allow it, right? And then they pretend that they're the more tolerant ones. Mace's bill comes at the heels of the September 5th election of Sarah McBride, a trans-identifying man. That's one wordplay you can go about it, but it's still dodging the question. To the U.S. representative, and Phillips called Mace pathetic for demanding that women's spaces be protected. Pathetic. What are you scared of, Nancy? Phillips, who challenged President Joe Biden in the 2024 primary on X. What's pathetic about Dean Phillips? Podcaster host Megyn Kelly asked, women have a right to know when they go to a bathroom. No men will be in there. Why should members of Congress or females, Hill staffers, have to sacrifice their security so a man pretends to be a woman can feel better? Men attacking women for not wanting men in their bathrooms with challenges of, oh, you're a wimp, is effing disgusting, another posted. Wow. Women have many reasons to desire female-only spaces, and legitimate fears of dealing with men while vulnerable is actually a significant part of that. Men trying to force other women into women's spaces, only with spaces, is beyond creepy, Dean, the Federalist, Molly Hemingway added. Yeah, so the Democrats are getting an earful on this one, but I'm going to give McBride an opportunity to speak for himself and see how he interprets all the events, and obviously you're gonna see. And then after this clip, we'll go into we're gonna react to Nancy Mace being approached by a liberal news reporter. Let's take a look at McBride's response.
Let's be clear. The party that was focused on culture wars, the party that was focused on trans people, was the Republican Party. It was Donald Trump. It was the $100 million, $200 million that they spent on television ads. But I want to be clear, I do not believe, from what I've seen in Delaware, that voters in my state were responding to those attacks. Delaware is in the Philadelphia media market, so we were seeing those ads that Donald Trump clearly prioritized and focused in with regard to the culture wars. What I was hearing from voters across the state of Delaware, my district is urban, suburban, and rural. It looks like America. And what I was hearing was not the ads that Donald Trump was putting on the air. What I was hearing from folks is the need to build an economy that works for everyone. What I was hearing was that the American dream is increasingly unaffordable and inaccessible. What I was hearing was that we need to guarantee affordable health care, housing, and child care for every person in this state and in this country. That's what I was hearing. That's what I was campaigning on. I didn't run on my identity, but my identity was not a secret. And in a state where 2/3 of the voters are in the Philadelphia media market, with a trans candidate on the ballot statewide, that candidate not only performed on par with other Democrats, but had the highest percentage of any Democrat running for major statewide office in Delaware this cycle. And so I think what we have to all recognize here is that when a politician tries to take an issue that impacts a handful of people in a handful of states and turn it into the most important issue in an election, everyone has to ask why. And the answer to that question is that Donald Trump was trying to divide and distract from the fact that he has absolutely no policy solutions for the issues that are actually keeping voters up at night, the issues that I was hearing about on the campaign trail. And I think we have to be crystal clear as we move forward that we are going to call out the hypocrisy of Donald Trump, of disingenuously claiming that he is a fighter for working people when his agenda is pro-higher cost.
So, yeah, as you see, you already seen the attack. I already kind of pointed out the pattern that they're trying to make this seem like, oh, this is the only things Republicans care about. And Nancy Mace will completely destroy this whole narrative, because the fact is, Donald Trump's not even in office yet. You Democrats still have power. Like the fact that you want to create a rule about the quorum and how people portray themselves, I don't understand why the hell like they're making this political. But no, this is how the Democrats lose, because everyone knows everything Democrats do is damn near political. Shaming a woman to sharing a bathroom with somebody who has a male genitalia is yet another example of how Democrats hate women. I don't really care what you want to call yourself or what kind of makeup you want to wear, right? This is to me what the Sarah guy is doing is akin to blackface, right? If someone decided to paint their face black and they want to say, hey, I'm a transracial person, we don't believe in transracialism. But to me, if you look at the standards, our biology is more defined in our race, right? Just because you're black, right? There's different kinds of black people. There's not a different kinds of woman. So race is more loosely defined than your gender. But for some reason, we'll believe someone if they say they're a trans woman, but we don't believe someone who's a transracial person. Make it make sense. You want to put on the kind of clothes you choose, but when you invade my safe space, that's where I draw the line. Your feelings are not more important than my personal safety. The fact that this is an open debate is absolutely insane, because Democrats want to keep fighting for it. But the trans-identifying congressman already agreed not to use the women's bathroom after Johnson announced that he will not be allowing this to happen. Women deserves women-only spaces, Johnson said. And so we're going to get into this reporter trying to, I guess, not debate Nancy Mace, but ask him about her transgender woman ban. Let's take a look.
Here she goes. Here's Congresswoman Mace. Congresswoman Mace, can I ask you a question as you walk here? So the question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
My question to you is...
It doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%.
But should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
you've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I am not going to stand for it. And the Speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker.
End of story.
Yeah. So one thing I would like to add, right, is that we already know, like, this is when she initially did it. But the fact that, you know, if this doesn't pass and then she has to motion a bill, I don't think any Democrat want to put their name behind yay or nay on a bill that says, hey, transgender women are not allowed in the women's restroom. Like, before, it's so funny how things change, right? 4 years ago, Democrats are so open. Like, they remember they painted the rainbow on the White House, right? I'm joking around. I don't think they did that. I think they had the rainbow flags everywhere, right? Government buildings was hoisting transgender flags, and people were like, yo, that's a political thing. You need to take it down because no one agrees with that, right? It's so funny how the culture around this stuff just shifted, right? And now it's all about tolerance. Oh, we got to respect how people feel about themselves. No, we don't. If someone say, hey, I am the richest man in the world, and you got to treat me as such, give me a credit line worth $300 billion, no business will believe you. But we're supposed to sit here and pretend that a man can be a woman. And I got to call out feminists here. This is the result of feminist logic. Feminists said that women are more than her biology, right? Women are the ones that said that, oh, gender, they started the gender confusion in the first place. I'm just being honest real quick. They're the ones who said that men and women can be exactly the same, that there should be no distinction between them. And this is a consequence of that. That's all I have to add to that, because I digress.
And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect. And I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy, because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Congresswoman,
Thank you, Congressman. We're going to peel away from this conversation, Kira. So a little bit of the context of what we were just talking about, and I'm going to have my cameraman step out of the active driveway here, was that Nancy Mace put forward this piece of legislation. It was aimed, she said, although the name is not in the legislation, at a new member of Congress, Sarah McBride of Delaware, who is a transgender woman. She has said that the legislation would prevent women from using male restrooms and vice versa in the United States Capitol. Speaker Johnson has said, he made a statement earlier today where he said he believes, a quote, man is a man and woman is a woman, but he also called for, as you heard me ask the congressman about, dignity and respect.
But it goes both ways, right? Like, dignity and respect doesn't mean like you do everything the person wants you to do. It's, hey, you guys come to a compromise. Hey, maybe it's a gender neutral bathroom. Who knows what the compromise is? But dignity and respect is not worship. Oh, I believe I'm a woman, I should be in the woman's bathroom. That's not dignity and respect. And this is the problem I have with the left. The left thinks tolerance means submission. Oh, you got to submit to everything I believe. Submit to everything that I subscribe. And if you find any fight, if you push back, you're a bigot. I'm tired of this narrow-minded like thinking that's going on, right? And I find it funny how he just came away and then he just continues going down. He said, hey, they're discriminatory. How? All this is making like reality. Hey, look, these are the standards. You're not allowed in these spaces, and that's it.
Point of his campaign. And we also know that he's given Speaker Mike Johnson, the president-elect, has rope to essentially run the House of Representatives how he sees fit. So it's really up to Mike Johnson at this hour, and it's really hard to parse what Mike Johnson wants to do. Again, he made that statement just moments ago before cameras. He made a point, actually, to call cameras for this impromptu public statement where he walked out to cameras in a way that was unplanned, said he believes a man is a man and a woman is a woman. I'm quoting him here, and then went on to say that he believes that each member of the House, each new member, and every member in general should be afforded dignity and respect. So we don't quite know where he lands on this, but Nancy Mace has said that he promised her that her opinion on this and her position on this and her resolution, which you just heard her outline there speaking to me, will be included in this new rules package put forward by the House of Representatives come January.
Please, guys, bro. This is what tolerance is, trying to push your beliefs on everyone else. That's crazy. Huh? Like imagine if Sarah McBride was a religious person, and he was trying to push his beliefs on everyone else. They'll promptly push back. Hey, look, you believe these things, we don't. The respect is in the middle. You're allowed to believe what you allowed to believe, and I'm allowed to believe what I like to believe. Like, they love to use my truth, my truth, my truth. This is the left that I'm criticizing, until the truths conflict, right? Until their truth hits objective truth. Hey, you're not a woman in reality. You're not. You don't get periods, right? You probably don't have the surgery, the bottom surgery, and even if you did, you have to do a special ritual damn near every day to make sure you still have a pretend vagina, right? Your body, like, everything of your body screams you're not this way. And there's a correlation with transgender dysphoria, gender dysphoria, and other mental disorders. That's the reality. That's the science. Yet, instead of treating the mental illness, we supposed to go along with it? I'm just saying, Nancy Mace standing on business. She's not playing with none of these reporters. She's not playing with the Democratic Party and the Democrats. TikTok, yeah. Democrats got a decision to make. Either they continue embracing the insanity of the far left, or they finally recognize reality and come back to the middle. Whatever the case, it'll be an interesting choice. Whatever the case the Democrats decide to do, they'll take a hit from the far left, and right now they're taking a hit from everybody else. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with Nancy Mace? Do you stand with Nancy Mace? Do you believe that any compromise will arrive, like a gender-neutral bathroom for the congressman? Or do you believe that, no, this is not right? You're not treating her with dignity and respect because you're allowing a trans man to go in the bathroom? Whatever the case may be, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching that in the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.